Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we have another episode brought to you guys by Blade Ops. Be sure to look them up for all of your knife and EDC needs. And today we are taking a look at a knife I literally forgot how much I loved it. It's actually my favorite Protech automatic, and it is none other than the Protech Rockeye. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You could almost feel it. It was so hard. Listen to that again. Oh my God, this thing is amazing. This here is the Protech Rockeye, and I actually used to own one of these way back in the day, well before my channel. It was the second Protech I ever bought, and I really loved it. Now, back then, I actually had an issue with mine to where it would kick out so hard, it wouldn't lock up. Like, it would come back and hit, and it would kind of just come just past the stop pin area, and it would kick back so hard it would kind of like stop and it wouldn't fully lock up on me. So I ended up getting rid of it. Now Protech has gotten so much better over the years. I haven't had that issue with the Protech in literally 5 years. That was the last one I had it with, and really the only one I had it with. But this guy right here is just an absolute mule, and I am loving handling this every second. Before we dig any further into this knife, let's take a look at some overall specs on this guy. We have an overall length coming in at 8.375 inches with a blade length coming in at 3.375 inches and a blade thickness at 130 thousandths. Blade material in this guy is CPM D2. It's okay. It is CPM D2, not regular D2. There's a big difference, but it still has that D2 in there that I don't think a lot of people love. We have a drop point style blade, a flat grind with a handle length coming in at 5 inches and a handle thickness at 500 thousandths. Aluminum handle, as always with Protech, a button locking mechanism, of course, being the automatic. Have a user of a right hand only tip-up carry, a weight coming in at 4.5 ounces, designed by the legendary Les George, and a price of $250. And I want to specify this whole D2 thing here. Excuse me as I pull an eyelash out of my eye. That is, you guys ever had that happen to you? Oh my God, the most annoying thing ever. But my only issue with CPM D2 on this knife is the price tag of $250. I don't want to pay $250 for D2. Now, I'll be completely honest, if this was the only opportunity I'd ever have to buy this knife, and it was coming with D2, with CPM D2 for $250, as much as I enjoy this, I would pay $250 for it if I knew I was never going to have another option. But I know eventually there'll probably be different runs of this with Magna Cut or S35 or maybe even 20CV. So I think eventually there will be more options than CPM D2. But still, it's not a terrible steel. There's a lot of people that like it, and I think it's just what Protech's going through right now. That's, they go through different runs of steels, and this is what they're using. So here's what it is. Size comparisons. Let's take a look at it with its little brother. You guys, I'm sure a lot of you know of the SBR. This is my personal SBR that I love. I got this at Blade Show West last year. A nice blue blade, and oh, look at that push button. That abalone is sweet. Get that there. And let's also bring out my other special Protech from my collection. This is the Protech Godfather, and this is a Way of Knife exclusive. They're a company up in Traverse City, Michigan. Got some DLC and another amazing abalone inlay. And as you can see, it is right in between both of these two. A nice middle ground of 3 amazing knives. And this didn't never really quite hit me. This is like the perfect Protech pairing almost. I mean, look at that. The blues and the blacks and the abalone. I impressed myself with these decisions, I have to say. And let's bring out a couple more. Maybe you don't have automatics. Let's go Spyderco Shaman, which will be a very nice comparison. And let's pull out the Civivi Conspirator. There you go. There's your size comparisons. Now we know. Now we can continue to talk about this phenomenal automatic knife. And I can easily say this knife is not perfect. I have a couple issues with it. Really just one, outside of the CPM D2 for $250. And it's actually, we'll get right into it. It's the plunge grind on this knife. It's really not that good. It's really not that good at all. As you go to sharpen this, there will almost certainly be a smile develop at the bottom after some sharpenings. But yeah, that's one of those things. I feel like, I don't know. I would just like to see a better plunge grind on this. But the blade itself is just phenomenal in terms of edge finish, performance. The CPM D2 would the CPM part will actually add a little strength to it, and D2 has always had pretty decent edge retention. So yeah, and you can usually have pretty good faith that any steel coming from Protech is going to be heat treated properly. So that's always nice to know. And this blade in general, just the jimping up here, it gives you that perfect spot to put your finger. This knife just sits in my hand like very few other knives. I honestly can't really think of any other knife that sits like this, to where all 4 fingers are together. There's no choil, nice and comfortable. Just feels so good. And just a great blade in general. Not a super slicey tip, but a tip that's good enough to be a very efficient worker, as well as strong enough, give you that strength when you really need it. But just an excellent blade design, and a handle that, again, this is a very simple design for the most part, really. I mean, the handle's nothing crazy. There's not lines going all over the place, but it's just a design and a shape that'll fit very well in just about anybody's hands. Like, big hands are good, small hands are fine. Really small hands might want something like the SBR. And if you guys don't know, SBR means short bladed Rockeye. So there you go. Obviously, it is, the same knife, just made smaller. But yeah, it's just really hard for me to knock anything about this blade or handle, with the exception of that plunge grind. And yeah, I would love it if this said Magna Cut. Oh my God. And I feel like at some point there will definitely be a Magna Cut version. But yeah, I just really don't have any issues. I can't say I love the clip, but the clip, I think, has a lot to do with why the handle feels so good. It's long and wide, and it supports in your palm really well, so you don't have anything too irritating. So yeah, it's just a very, very solid knife. It's by far and away, in my opinion, the best automatic knife you can get. And I think that's saying a lot. I think it really is, but it's a very perfect knife for EDC, as long as you're good, as long as you don't live in that 3-inch blade restriction area. It's just fantastic for me. It really is. The action on this, I'll do it again. I already ranted and raved about it, but yeah, man, oh man, I wish every Protech, well, maybe not everyone. I'll tell you what, if my smaller ones, if my Protech Runt kicked like that, I'd probably drop it every time. So I take that back. But this is just, it's made so well to where when you're going to push this button right here, this is where your fingers are, and the knife is so secure in your hand, you don't have to worry about anything. And that really does make a lot of the deploying of this blade that much more enjoyable, because you don't have to worry about dropping it. You have a good solid grip. The finish on the handle does provide a little bit of tackiness. This is not a smooth handle. It is smooth, but it's not slippery. So you have that extra little bit of grip. And man, oh man, you push that button. The force, it's phenomenal. It's by far and away the best automatic action ever on a knife. This is better than my original Rockeye. And I loved my original Rockeye so much. That was CPM 154. Yeah, that was CPM 154. That is, it wasn't 154 CM. Yeah, I forgot how much I love deploying this knife. And it wasn't even that strong when I had my other one. It's just, man, oh man, so good. And in reverse grip, has a very nice grip in reverse grip. And unless you have a really wide hand, which I think a lot of people don't, this actually works really well as a pommel down here. It has a lot of extra length to where if you're working with it, you're kind of holding it like this and that pommel's not there. But then if you ever did have to strike something, whether it be a window or anything, you find yourself in a situation where you have to defend yourself, and you don't want to get as, crazy as using, something like that. You have a pommel that would either, do damage. So there's definitely a pretty good tactical aspect to this. Of course, it's an automatic, so it's already going to have a tactical aspect. But I really do like the pommel area down there. That adds a lot of force that you can use without getting too crazy in certain situations. And of course, you got your lanyard hole here. So if you're up for lanyards and you like that thing, you're set up there. It's just an amazing knife. I'll stop gushing about it now. But I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out the Protech Rockeye. If you haven't gotten a Protech yet and you want like the full Protech experience, like all the snappy goodness, all the designs and quality and fit and finish, and you want a bigger knife, look no further than this. This is especially, even at $250, you know, there's other knives like the Terzola, I can't remember the name of it, the Terzola special they have right now. It's like $420. At $250, this is a really good price for a bigger Protech with a lot of force, a lot of snappy goodness. It is just a perfect knife in my opinion. For the most part, maybe not perfect, but it's really damn good. I'm done. The Protech Rockeye. Get yourself one because I'm going to be getting myself one as well. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.